Hello, everyone, and welcome to Voice and Vision, the podcast where we speak boldly, we think clearly, and we lead with purpose and presence. I'm Dr. Christina Asare, and today we are going deep into a topic that everyone has questions about. I'm going to talk to you about Joseph. I don't know who your favorite character in the Bible is or person in the Bible is, but I really love the story of Joseph. And I want to talk to every visionary leader. It doesn't matter your age. At some point, we will face some questions. What do you do when the vision from God is clear, but the details are missing? If you're walking through a season where God showed you something, but it doesn't seem to match what you're experiencing right now, stay with me. We're going to look at a story that proves you're not off track and you're not delayed. In fact, you might be in the middle of God's development process. Let's talk about Joseph. Joseph, he was a dreamer. Joseph was 17. He was full of ideas and he was favored by his father Jacob. He was richly colored robe, a gift that set him apart from his brothers, and it stirred jealousy in his family. But it wasn't just the robe. Joseph had dreams, God-given dreams. In one dream, his brothers' sheaves of grain bowed before his. In another, even the sun, the moon, and the stars bowed to him. These were not ordinary dreams, they were prophetic revelations of leadership and elevation. Joseph made a mistake many young leaders make. He shared the dream with the wrong people. And instead of being celebrated, he was hated. His brothers didn't just roll their eyes, they plotted to kill him or unalive him. Imagine the closest to you, the ones who should have protected your calling, sought to destroy it. And they almost did. They threw Joseph in a pit that isolated, and he was confused. From there, they sold him into slavery. Just like that, Joseph's life shifted from promise to betrayal. And then Joseph, he ends up in Egypt in the house of a military official named Potiphar. But here's what's powerful. Genesis chapter 39, verse 2 says, the Lord was with Joseph and he prospered. So even as a servant, Joseph rose to leadership, and Potiphar trusted him with everything. He managed his household, he handled the finances. Joseph was walking in leadership, even in a low place. But when God is preparing you for influence, your integrity will be tested. And Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of assault when he refused her advances. And just like that, he lost everything again. There was no trial, no defense, just prison. Now he's in a dungeon. Think about that. He went from dreamer to slave, from steward to prisoner, and still God was with him. In the prison, Joseph didn't fall into despair. He rose to leadership again, managing other inmates. He interpreted dreams for two of Pharaoh's officials, one of whom promised to remember him. But 2 more years went, and Joseph stayed in that dark place. 2 years of silence, 2 years of obscurity, 2 years of being forgotten. And yet he never let go of the vision. And one night, Pharaoh had disturbing dreams that none of his wise men could interpret. That's when the cupbearer remembered Joseph. Joseph is rushed from prison, he's cleaned up, and he's brought before the most powerful man in Egypt, who was Pharaoh. And Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams with divine clarity. And just like that, the years of preparation converge. Pharaoh says, "There is no one like you in wisdom, and you shall be over all Egypt." And in one moment, Joseph becomes the command of an empire. Vision had come to pass. But listen, it took 13 years. 13 years of waiting, misunderstanding, injustice, and silence. Years later, during a global famine, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt to buy grain. They bowed before him just as he dreamed they would. But now Joseph had the power to take revenge, and yet he chooses mercy. He said to them in Genesis chapter 50, verse 20, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, to bring about this present result, to save many people alive." Joseph had matured, his vision had matured, and most importantly, his heart had matured. So, what does this mean for you? You may be in the early stages of your calling, still dreaming. You may be in the pit feeling forgotten by those closest to you. You may be in Potiphar's house, leading in someone else's vision. You may be in prison, developing silently while others overlook you. But wherever you are now, know this: God's hand is still on your life. When God gives a vision, He doesn't give the timeline, He gives a glimpse of the future, but doesn't reveal the wilderness between. And that's not cruelty, that's strategy, because what God is preparing for you will require a tested, trusted, transformed version of you. So here's what I want you to remember: don't mistake delay for denial. Joseph's dream never expired, it was unfolding on God's term. Don't waste your hidden season. Your skills, your character, your humility, they're all being shaped for the next level. Don't fight to be seen. When it's time, God will bring your name into rooms you've never stepped in. And don't abandon the dream. Even if it's taken years, God finishes what He starts. Here's some questions I want you to think about. To all the listeners, I want you to think about these questions. Where are you now in Joseph's journey? Are you dreaming, developing, or being deployed? Have you allowed bitterness or discouragement to settle in during your wait? I pray not. What can you do today to steward the vision and your current place? The last one is very important. Can you trust God even when you have the what, but not the how. I want you to understand that God is not punishing you with silence. He is preparing you with strategy. Joseph didn't need all the answers. He needed faith. He needed discipline. And he needed the humility to lead with grace when the spotlight finally came. So do we. I want to encourage you. Hold on to the vision. Let God write the details and trust that even in the pit or the prison, his hand is still on your story. Thank you for joining me on Voice and Vision. If this episode encouraged you, share it with another leader, mentor, or friend. We rise stronger when we rise together. Until next time, stay faithful, stay focused, and keep leading with purpose, power, and presence. God bless everyone. I will see you.